Meanwhile, relations between Washington and Beijing continue to be further tested. The South China Morning Post has pointed out that a U.S. defense report released over the weekend includes Taiwan on a list of countries.
The island is put together with Singapore, New Zealand and Mongolia under a section detailing American efforts to strengthen regional partnerships. China has yet to respond, but it's almost certain that this will anger Beijing.
Now, just yesterday, it made clear its firm opposition to the planned sale of $2 billion worth of armaments from the U.S. to Taiwan. And while Washington has not approved the sale yet, China warned it would harm relations. Simon Marks joins us now for more. Simon, the report classifies Taiwan under a list of countries once, but it references it as an island in all other mentions. What do you make of this?
Yeah, it's very interesting, John. This is a 55-page report. It's called the Indo-Pacific Strategy Report, and it was released by the Pentagon on Saturday of last week. And it includes an introduction that is written by the acting defense secretary here, Patrick Shanahan, the man President Trump has selected to be the head of the Pentagon. He's awaiting confirmation hearings up on Capitol Hill. And in that section, where it lumps together Singapore, Taiwan, New Zealand and Mongolia, it says all 4 countries contribute to U.S. missions around the world and are actively taking steps to uphold a free and open international order. It goes on to say the 4 countries are reliable, capable and natural partners for the United States. So is this a further indication that the Trump administration takes a slightly different view historically of the one China policy than many of its predecessors, or could this simply have been some kind of an editing error? That seems unlikely, given the layers of approval that these reports usually go through within the Pentagon, although it's important to underscore that in the Trump administration, things operate not necessarily along the same lines that they've operated in the past. So it's possible that this was an unintended error, but by putting Taiwan in with New Zealand, Singapore and Mongolia, it only seems to underscore the intent here, perhaps to send some kind of message to Beijing that the United States under Donald Trump is taking a slightly different view of Taiwan and the role that it can play than many of its predecessors. Remember that Chinese concerns were raised back in December of 2016, shortly after Donald Trump won the presidential election here in the United States, when he placed a telephone call, received a telephone call from the Taiwanese president, Tsai Ing-wen. That raised questions about the Trump administration's intended approach to Taiwan. With the trade war underway with Beijing, perhaps this is only going to underscore in the minds of policymakers in Beijing concerns about where Donald Trump is taking this policy.
All right, thanks very much, Simon, for putting that in perspective. Simon Marks there speaking to us live from Washington, D.C.